Tim Storey. Tim's he inspires the world. He doesn't just motivate people, he inspires the world. Let me bring him. I need some inspiration right now, so it's gonna help me out. My brother.
Albert, you're looking handsome.
Hey, can I share a quick story with you?
Hey, we got time, but there's going to be a lot of people on. We just had a lot of people on Facebook, and now they're saying they're going to run over here.
Awesome.
So take your time and watch this thing just build. This is going to be an amazing time tonight with Albert and I. Tell me a story.
Thank you. Hey, so this is about mindset, and talk about mindset. You know, these last couple of weeks have been probably one of my toughest weeks, and not because it's tough, but because I had a lot of problems with my injuries, health wise, and just kind of I've been going too hard. And then my immune system dropping, and I've been kind of getting into some rough places. So, this weekend we were in Modesto, and I started feeling bad. And I'm like, what's going on? And I told you, I woke up and I was good, but then towards the middle of the day, I started feeling like low on energy. And I'm like, what's going on? You know what? Maybe the margaritas from last night, because me and Sil went to eat something at Javier's.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the margaritas, and I'm like, maybe I'm a little bit hungover, so maybe that's it. So let me just grab a glass of champagne. Maybe it makes me feel better. So I thought it was that, and I had a podcast, and then I thought everything was well, and I'm like, that's what it was. But then the next morning, I couldn't get off from bed, and I have super high fever, my body.
Oh.
And I'm in pain, my back hurts, my legs, everything. So I'm like, what's going on? And the mind is really powerful. So then people start saying, whispering, you might have that virus that's out there. You gotta go check. You gotta go get checked. Do this, do that. And then things start getting in your head. And I'm like, I don't have that. It's my stomach hurts. So it has to be related to my stomach. So I tell Sil, well, what are we gonna do? We have to be there and speak. And then I text you because you're my guy when I need somebody to give me some inspiration or fix my head. It's like I gotta reach out to my God, which is Tim. And and I text you, Tim, because it's never happened to me. And I'm like, when you do a keynote, what do you do when that day you happen to get fever? And you feel like shit, and you can't get off of bed.
Oh yeah.
And so you were the first person, the perfect person to ask. And then you told me something really kind, which was, if you give it another hour, Albert, if you don't feel good, just stay home with your family, with your girls, and get better. It's not worth you getting worse. I'm gonna represent you, and I'm gonna speak about you, and I'll take care of you. So then I feel better. But then I remembered, you know what? I'm not. This is not Albert. Albert does not give up so easily. Albert does not quit. So I did whatever I had to do. Took a shower, and I was freezing cold, because when you have fever, you get cold and you're shivering and all that. So I just told Sil, let's go. I pushed the flight back. I got there, and then I decided to take a nap and to feel better. Then I couldn't get off from the nap because my fever went up again. I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do?
Oh yeah.
So then again, I'm like, no, we got all the way here. I'm not going to go speak. So let me take another cold shower. And if it's painful, you have no idea. It's so painful when you have fever and you're in the cold. And I'm like, and I was as long story short, we're walking to the place, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, this is my first time, but all these hard moments, when you get through them, they just make you way stronger. And if I didn't have that mindset, just you, strong mindset, and all these powerful people have that mindset, like Michael Jordan. Remember the fourth quarter he had the flu and he
Oh yeah.
finals, and they win the finals.
Yes.
They probably wouldn't have won the finals if he stayed home with the flu. But he decided to go and play, and then they won, and that's all mindset. So I just want to tell you that this was the first time that I had a situation where I had commitment. Not I didn't commit. I felt like I had commitment. Like I had to go
Yes.
through, and if I didn't show up, I wouldn't be able to deal with that, and like for the rest of my life. So you were the first person that I needed to talk to, and I think you kind of, even though you told me you'll take care of it, you kind of told me like, Albert, get your ass up
Yeah.
and come down here.
Just so you knew, I knew you would show up. But I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to spend the first few minutes bragging about you. Is that one of the things about mindset is you have to build your mindset. Okay? You have to build it. And what you have done over the last many years, from studying all these books, studying all these people, from investing in yourself, to fly to conventions, to go meet people, to go do what you're doing, what you've done is that you have built up your mindset every single year. So watch how powerful this is. You have to sit and learn, and then from sitting, then you have to stand in what you learned, and then you need to walk it out. And that's Albert, what I started seeing you do is when you did the first driven and you put up all your own money, that was not just asking everybody else to bail you out. You had the right mindset. You learned, you were sitting, you were standing, you were walking it out. You did the first driven. And then I went, oh man, there he goes. He's about to start running. Running is a position of passion. Albert, very few people run in life anymore. They don't even do a slow jog. But what happened is that you went from the sitting, the standing, the walking it out, to the running with passion. And what happened now is now you got millions of people, not a couple million, millions of people from around the world following you. And now you're teaching them how to run. Okay. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today is the mindset, is that Albert mindset where you are now running and you're so focused. Okay. But the next thing from running with passion that most people never get is that then you can soar. You could rise up like an eagle and soar. That's what's happening to you. That's also why you're getting such resistance. You're going to get it from friends. You're going to get it from families. You're going to get it from haters. Because they didn't even think that Albert was going to walk. So you messed them up when you were just walking. Now
right.
that you then you started running, then you started soaring, and now when you soar, it's addicting. You can't stop soaring. See, an eagle, they go higher and higher and higher. New dimension, and that's where you're headed. You're just going new dimension. So when I talk about that, what's going through your mind?
I think when my dad when I went with my dad to paint homes in Beverly Hills, that was the first time that I saw beautiful things. And I questioned my dad, how come we weren't here? How come we don't live in this house? How come we don't have a Ferrari? And then my dad told me, because it's not for us. So when he said, when it's not, I said, why is this not for us? And he said, well, he couldn't really answer me, but he said, well, after I kind of drilled him, he said, well, if you work hard and you never quit, maybe you have a shot. And then, so that stayed in my mind. And then when I went to school, not speaking, it was hard because the kids would make fun of me, my accent, they would call me wetback and things like that. So it was painful, but that pain just made me stronger.
Yes.
And then I became brave, and I developed something called courage. And then that courage just pulled me through. And then as I started, growing up and maturing, I started thinking about what do I have to do to change myself? Because I was very skinny, like overly skinny. I was like 120. 120 pounds is not good for a man. I was had a lot of pimples. I was pale, didn't have color. And
Yeah.
so I couldn't get any girls, and then I was defeated. I was like really insecure.
Oh
So
yeah.
when I got out of high school and I failed in college time after time, I said, well, what do I have to fix? So then I started working on all that. I started, working out, taking creatine, protein shakes, mass gainers, going in the sun and swimming in the beach and doing things like that. And then all of a sudden, all the stuff started getting better. I developed confidence, and then I still had the shyness. So then I just said, well, okay, well, how do I talk to a girl? And I don't know if this is a good example, but me and my
Yeah.
buddy, we were so broke that all we could afford was $20 and $20, so $40. We used to go to Costco,
Yeah.
get that absolute vodka,
Yeah.
and we would just put a little bit on the Coke, and then that would loosen us up, and then we would go talk to the girls, and that's all I knew. I mean, we were 19 years old, out of college, and then that started, giving us some hope, and we started getting good at it. But then after a while, I got into the mortgage business, real estate. I started making a lot of money, and then again, boom, make another mistake. I got into drugs. I got into drinking alcohol,
Oh
partying,
yeah.
women, and I dropped and I failed badly. I got 3 DUIs, and I was in a whole different mess.
Yes.
Then my mindset was all messed up, because then I'm like, okay, well, all the people that said I would never fly like an eagle, I would never make it, maybe they were right. Maybe I belong in jail because I'm a drug addict or an alcoholic. I'm a loser. I don't belong here. So all those thoughts started getting in my head. And I remember one time I went to a Tony Robbins seminar,
Yep.
and I couldn't afford the best seat, so I got the $99 ticket because that's all I could afford. And then that was the beginning of my mind starting to develop and become stronger. So now I didn't care what people said about me, and then I started creating relationships and just growing from there. But if it weren't for Tony Robbins' seminar, this wouldn't be here where it is today. And then I started meeting people like you, and you introduced me to more people, and
Yes.
ever since I got my head right, my life just started getting better and better and better.
Albert, I love what you're saying. And I want to get into a little something tonight that I think you're going to like. So a mindset is where you set your mind. And it's not your father's fault or my mother's fault. It was the way they were raised, that they said, my mother said to me, Timmy, that's not for us. I remember we went and watched these people snow skiing one day, Albert, up in Big Bear. How come we can't ski? And my mother said, people like us don't ski. So it's just the way they were raised, right? So the mindset is where you set your mind. It's like when you have an old TV and you used to turn it. You turn it. So the mindset of Albert's father and my mother was what they do, which was a limited mindset. So I'm gonna read what the word limited means, Albert. It means restricted. It means cramped. It means crowded and confined. What some people don't realize is that Albert lived in his car. He was confined, crowded, and cramped. But while he was living in the car, that did not feel like him. So you can't blame him for saying, hey, how do I get out of this car? I'm cramped, crowded, and confined. This does not feel like me. There's a lot of you watching right now. And make sure and let people know that Albert Preciado and Tim Storey are on together talking about how to build your mindset to get you out of a tough situation. We're going to help you tonight. Now, Albert, you were cramped, crowded, and confined. And you got to admit, man, you were waking up thinking, this isn't me. Tell them what that felt like, living in the car.
Well, when I lost everything in the 2008 mortgage meltdown, because I've been a mortgage mortgage guy all my life, ever since I failed in college. Like I just decided to get into real estate, and I stick to mortgages. So 2008, I lost everything. I had a Mercedes, I had 2 homes, everything got foreclosed, repossessed. My Rolex, I pawned it before that to help pay the bills and survive, just to buy me another month. And then I lost everything. So when my house, when I was evicted, and they changed my locks, I couldn't get in. So my dog Casper, he was stuck inside the house, so I have to call the sheriff to go open the door so I could take him out. And all my so that was probably the worst part. But the worst part was when I had to go, when the sheriff opened my door, the locks, and they allowed me to pick up my belongings. All the white people in the neighborhood, because it was Sierra Madre, and it was all white people, white older people.
Oh yeah.
A really nice neighborhood. I was the only minority little Mexican guy throwing parties and being crazy there. So they hated me. They were so happy that I was leaving. So that time, I took my dad and my brother, and Sil went with me. Sil was there when I was making money, and then when I lost it, and now we have 2 beautiful girls. We'll talk about that later. But we were in there picking up our belongings, and all the neighbors came out, and they were just watching me. Like all the white people were watching me.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying all my stuff, and I kind of have my head down, and all of them are like, "That's right. Finally, we're getting rid of you." And felt just like elementary and middle school when all of them made fun of me. And so it was just like, here we go again.
Here we go again.
And then I said, I don't want to go back to my parents' house, because they were going to tell me that they were right, because they always told me, don't get into real estate, it's risky. They told me, don't buy real estate, it's risky. They told me, don't do events, don't do driven events, it's risky.
Yeah.
So all of the stuff that my parents told me not to do, I did the opposite, and that's what made me successful. Yes. But it wasn't because they were bad parents. They're great parents, beautiful parents that love me, but they want to overprotect me, and they're just old-fashioned Mexican parents. So
so I got to say something here, Albert, because what happened is that they did the best of what they knew.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother's Latin as well. She had a 6th grade education. Her first language is Spanish. And so she was always put down when she worked at Winchell's Donut Shop. That's what my mother did. And to think that, she only did what she could do. When she used to wake us up for school, it was not nice. It was like, get the hell up. It's like, man, are you in a bad mood or something? Man, my mother was like tough. And, I know the chancla. Like if you did something wrong, boom, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But that's what she knew. And so the great thing about what you're doing is that you are teaching our culture that we can break off limitations off our lives. But it's not just, when I say our culture, I'm not just talking about Latin people or Black people or Dominican or Puerto Ricans. I'm talking about the culture of the struggler. See, the struggler thinks sometimes I can only go so high. But what you're telling people is that you do not have to stay in that low level of thinking, that you could sit and learn, stand in what you know, walk it out, okay? Then you run, that's passion, and then you soar. So tonight we're talking, and thank you for doing this, a little bit about my new book. Albert, are you glad my new book came out?
I'm excited about it.
Tell me why.
Because first of all, I look up to you, Tim. You're more than a friend. I consider you family. You believed in me when nobody else did. You supported me in my first driven event. And even though I was a nobody and it was my first event, you showed up there for free. And you helped me sell tickets. And not only that, you gave me confidence. So I know how much value you could give to all the people and all my audience and everybody watching this, because what you did to me in moments where I didn't have money for the event, but I just went ahead and did it because of my belief. I know that you could do that for everybody else that's watching this. So I know that that book probably has not $1 million idea, but probably millions and millions of ideas, if not $1 billion idea, if not maybe $1 trillion idea, but most importantly than money. I think
Yes.
that book will give a lot of hope and belief to anybody.
Yes. So I got to tell you something. This is how close I am to you. So, you know, I've already done Access Hollywood. I'm about to do the Today Show, Good Morning America, Oprah Winfrey. I just did the big New York show, Good Morning New York, this morning. I just got interviewed by Maria Menounos, who is awesome. As you know, with Lewis Howes, it just dropped today. Your good friend Ed Milet that's coming to Driven, my friend, your friend, about to be interviewed by him. I'm going to do Oprah, Steve Harvey. Now, on the night of my book being dropped, March 2nd, today, I told you, Albert, let's do a live. You know why? Because you are what this is about right here. I'm not joking. Because you went from looking at how people lived, the story you tell when you were on Sunset Boulevard, and you would see how people lived, okay, in Beverly Hills. I call that the sight. So you have the sight of something, and then to have the sight is one thing, but then you got to fight. See, most people, they have the sight, and that's where they leave it. Like, look at the Kardashians, or look at the little one. Now she's a billionaire, and they got the sight. Let's keep watching. And then they buy like fake Louis Vuittons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You had the sight, but then you got the fight. That's what makes me, on my book premiere night, want to come on with you. Tell me about the fight. I want to know why you have the fight in you to say, get me the hell out of this car. I'm not living in my car.
Well, number one is I think a quitter one time is a quitter for life. And most importantly, I promised my dad that I would never quit, that I would always make that dream become true. That's why my video that I like to play before I speak starts with, where I am today. And then the middle part is the struggle. And then it ends with a house in Beverly Hills with a Ferrari and me hugging my dad, because that is the whole story of my life in 2.5 minutes. And that just shows you that no matter where you came from, no matter how many struggles you had, look, you got to do things that you hate. You got to do things that are painful, and you got to do things when you don't feel 100%. Like today, it was a crazy day for me. It's my first day that I was able to get off from bed, because after the event, I just crashed and I couldn't get up. I was like in bed, like just not feeling well, and that bring me down. But today I got up and I didn't feel good. I feel like shit. But I said, I gotta get up. I gotta get to the office. I gotta work out, and I gotta fight this. Like,
okay, so here's what I feel from you as somebody who loves you like family. Is that somebody is always hurting worse than us. It as tough as our childhood was, okay? You know this, and I know this because we talk. We go to dinner, we hang out. Somebody is hurting worse than us. Albert, had we stayed in that small life, poquito, had we stayed in that small life, man, we wouldn't be touching these millions of people changing. Now, let me tell you about the Truesdale Estates. And I know you know a lot, but I know more. People don't realize that Ricky Ricardo lived in the Truesdale Estates, like Ricky and Lucy at one time. I'm going to blow you away. Cary Grant lived in the Truesdale Estates. Prince, the singer, lived in the Truesdale Estates. Madonna lived in the Truesdale Estates. Mike Myers lived in the Truesdale Estates. Okay? I'm going to blow you away more. Down the street from where you are, that's where they shot the Osbourne show. The Osbournes from MTV, those are my friends. They live down the street from where you live. Then Christina Aguilera was your neighbor. Okay, so now you got a guy from Mexico that his father used to work in that area, and he had the site. Okay, but he only had so much information. See, we are limited by the information we know. So you should say, and now I live in the Truesdale Estates. And you people should not get mad that he says he lives in the Truesdale Estates. You should say, good. Because if he can do it, I can do it. If he could do it, I could do it. Okay, maybe you want to live in the Pico Rivera Estates. I don't know. But you should say, if he could do it, I could do it. Don't hate. Participate. Because if you hate, you're missing the whole thing. I'm proud of him that he lives up there and that we get to go to his house and he feeds us good food. Because I'm going to tell you something. He always gets good food at his house.
And you know, what's really important for me and what has worked for me is focusing on and this is going to sound, because I say it all the time, and sometimes people, they throw, you know, hater comments and things like that, but changing lives. Everybody's changing lives, but are you really changing lives? Like, everything I see you doing is to change lives. And I learned this from you. When you just give, money just comes. You don't have to work.
Does.
I started in the beginning when I was younger. I used to be selfish. I used to be unethical. I used to want to make money, and my whole thing was I want to do real estate because I want to make money. I want to make money. I want to make money. I want to make 100K. Then I want to make 500,000. Then I want to make 1,000,000. And it was just money, money, money. So I saw people like, I see money right there. But when I switched it after I matured and became an adult, I started focusing on how can I help the masses? How can I start a company where we have not only Albert, but have hundreds, thousands of agents that could serve our people and help them get their American dream. Buy a house.
I love this. So watch this, Albert. So in my new book, The Miracle Mentality, which it's so easy to get, you can get it on Amazon right this second, but I also do the audible version. You can get it right now. So I don't know if you heard this story. Did you hear that I was on Clubhouse the other night and I sold over 11,000 books?
I heard you were on Clubhouse, but I didn't know you sold that many. That's awesome. That's a big number.
No, 11,000. So let me tell you what happened though. So I'm on Clubhouse and all these guys start rolling in. Everybody starts jumping in. Okay, big boys, celebrities. Tim Storey changed my life. Yo, Tim Storey. Boom, boom, boom. So guys started going, I'm going to buy 50 books, 100 books, 200 books, 300 books. Because this miracle mentality to me is a movement. Okay? What Think and Grow Rich did for people, it was a movement. This miracle mentality where I teach you that you don't have to live in a messy life. You don't have to live in a life that is full of madness, but you can live in a life that's full of magical thinking. Okay? So in Clubhouse, man, Albert, they just started I'm buying 100, boom, bam, bam. And like Amazon just started blowing up. This started blowing up. It was so heavy that our people were having a hard time getting books in. Just hear me. This is powerful. One guy that I'm talking to tomorrow, he has now placed a new order for 5,000 books. 5,000. Why? Because let me tell you something. Could you imagine if your cousin or your relative read a book that can help their life to go from just thinking so small, so tiny, and you could put a fire underneath them? So Albert, when I was at your house, you talked about, helping with the book, and this is a way you could help. I don't want Albert to buy a bunch of books because Albert, you're always buying something. But what I want you to do is I want you to challenge people that are watching to buy books. And then my assistants are going to put down how they could do it, okay? But there are people that follow you, that work around you. They can get 10 books for their family, 50 books for their family members, right? 100 books. Tell them what they can do.
Yeah, well, Tim, I spoke to Tim. I texted him actually yesterday to ask you when's your book coming out, because
Yeah.
I was really interested in when is your book coming out, because look, when you want to surround yourselves with people like Tim and other big lions out there, you don't ask like, let me take you out for coffee to pick your brain, because people like Tim they're occupied, they're always busy, they're always doing big projects, helping a lot of people. So what I believe in, the way I like to live my life is asking like Tim, like, when's your book coming out, because I want to help you, because you've done so
Yeah.
much for my family. So what can I do for you, Tim? Like, you've gave me so much, like, how can I pay you back in a way? So that's why I was asking you, when's your book coming out? And then you told me tomorrow, and I'm like, oh shit, tomorrow. And then when you told me like, hey, we came to a good time to do this live.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I know you said you don't want me to buy books, but what I want to do is I just want to start this off by buying $100. I just want to buy $100 because I need them, because
That's a lot.
I want to give them away to my people though.
Yeah.
So maybe if you could sign 25 of them at least, I could give those signed books to my special people. And then I don't want you signing too many books. I know you have to sign a lot of them, but I want to 100 books, and then anybody I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people here, they'll second that, and then they'll get another $100. So if somebody does another 100 bucks, then what I'll do is I'll give you guys a free ticket for the next Driven event, which is in
Hey,
Ed Milet's going to be there.
that's
Tim.
huge.
So anybody that gets another $100, I'll throw in a Driven ticket for free. But not only that, I mean, most importantly, like, do it for me, do it to support Tim.
Yeah.
Tim does a lot of free stuff to help people.
How much did I charge you to speak at your house the other night?
Nothing.
Okay, that's my point. So we got a couple guys. I want to address these guys because most guys don't address.
And Tim, really quick, when we're done with this live, I'm gonna save it.
Yeah.
Send me, have your team send me the link and all that so I could post it.
Yes.
Also gonna put a story of me buying those $100 so people can see that I'm really buying those $100 because I am. And then
Yeah.
you do sign 25 of them.
No, I'm gonna do it. So let me just tell you something. I'm gonna address some of the people that are making comments. When you really get a miracle mentality, man, you want to help people out. And so John Paul DeJora is helping me out as well. John Paul DeJora sold Patron for $5 billion. He doesn't need to help Tim Storey. That guy's been helping me for years with all kinds of projects. And so for some of you people that your mindset is not right yet, and you think that everybody's got an angle, not everybody has an angle. John Paul DeJora flew his private jet, big one when you make that much money, to Miami to speak for my friend Manny Medina's, who's got a huge company, to 13,000 Latin people from all over the world, and said, give me nothing. Whatever the speaking fee is, give me nothing. People, wake up. The world is in trouble. And some of you need to rise up and start changing people. Because what you make happen for someone else, life will make happen for you. It's true, right? Albert, as you start helping people, haven't you noticed that your life is getting even better?
Way better, man. Like, from the first Driven that like, you went there and believed in me. Now you're my friend, and you come hang out in my house, and you introduce me to your contacts. Because most importantly, like, the most important part when you meet people, like, you build relationships, they open their doors to their contacts.
I got more contacts for you. Wait till you meet some of my guys. I told you, because I've been to 75 countries, speaking to 85,000 people at a time. Wait till you start hitting Argentina, Colombia, all these countries that are starving for your message. Come on, please.
And
People, and I don't see too much of this, but don't be small-minded. The world is not just the world you live in. There's a whole world out there that is waiting for you to have a miracle mentality and do something fantastic.
You got to come with me all over the Latino, South America, and
I want to.
Spanish.
I want to. I think we were going to be a 1-2 punch, like all over the place. I was talking on coming up in a couple of days. I'm going to eat with a famous chef named Michael Mina. Michael Mina is one of the greatest chefs of all time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he hangs out with Drake. He hangs out with everybody. So Michael Mina is my guy. So he just opened up a new restaurant in Belmont Shore, and I was there for the grand opening Friday. He texted me today congratulating me on my book, and I'm going to go see him in 2 nights. And this guy was telling me the story about his mentality on how he was pushed against and pushed against and pushed against. Now he's one of the most famous chefs in the world with over 40 restaurants. Come on, people. So many of you are watching right now, and your life feels like it's so normal, but you are one conversation away from something wonderful happening, and maybe this is the conversation.
Yeah, and Tim, let me ask you a question. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, like, I know you know, one-on-one. I know, like, privately, and I know how much I know how much wealth you have accumulated. You know, I know you're really good in that department.
Yeah.
And I know selling books is gonna like make a difference in you wealth-wise. I know it takes a lot.
It will not at all. Because I'm gonna give most of this money away from my books. Albert, when I was 28, that was the first time I gave $100,000 away. At 28, it only hurt for 12 minutes. No, man. I make my money off all my businesses. I'm a businessman because I've been helping business people since my early 20s. As you know, Albert, people cut me into businesses since I was young, and that's how I acquired wealth. So no, the book thing is about changing lives.
That was the part of my question. Like so, but you answered it already. It's just like all the time that it takes to write a book. Because I've been trying to do a book for a couple of years, and I just can't figure it out. I need you to help me with that. But like with you being so busy and you know everything that you have, you still find time to write a book, and you want to share that message with all the people. Maybe if we go deeper on that, like going back, like when did Tim start thinking that way or having that passion to help people? What
Yeah.
makes
So somebody just wrote something about like church, and then they said question mark. Let me say this, because you were raised in the Catholic Church, so was I. So hear this out, Albert. Watch how powerful this is. A lot of people, they love to make religion the same way. That all religious people have to be the same way. And that's where you miss it, is that with me, I am very, very privileged to speak in all types of situations, as you know, Albert. Sometimes I speak in churches. I was just in Visalia speaking at a church of 6,000 people. I speak at church conferences of 80,000 people, but also speak at Driven. I'll speak at other conferences that are 30,000 doing other things that are non-religious, because I think that the key is to love people, to lift people up. So the question I have for all of you guys is that the gift that you have, which is an amazing gift, what are you doing with that gift that you have? The gift that Albert has, and that is to educate people to go to a higher level, that's what he's using. And so, Albert, that's what you're really doing. Even in the area of how to do and operate a business, you are educating people through Driven and all these conferences, and even what you're doing with Seal on working with couples, you are educating people to go to a higher level. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I mean, once we stuck to our core values, everything started changing. And before it was like I said, we weren't perfect, but then we decided, we got to be ethical. We got to work hard. We got to have the right attitude. We have to be loyal.
Yeah.
And if we do those things, whenever there's a decision, we don't have to think about it. We're just like, are we making the right decision? Well, are we being ethical? Does it match your core values? And we just go for that. And we believe that if we do good, and you know more of this than me, if we only do the right thing, then I think that God from above is going to take care of our kids. And to me,
Yes.
nothing more important than my kids being healthy, my kids being happy. So that's why I never want to do something that I don't want somebody to do to my family.
Yeah. Can I just answer a few people that are talking to us on here?
Yeah.
One person is saying, I don't know what my gift is. Your gift is already inside of you. And your gift is talking to you all the time. Because when you are in your mother's womb, the Bible says, God spoke over you. So the gift is inside of you. But some of you are so busy and you got so much craziness in your mind, you're not hearing what your gift is saying. Your dream has a voice. So when Albert was challenged as a young person and trying to get his way through life, he was confused, but his gift was speaking to him. Somewhere down deep in Albert, he knew that he was supposed to do something special. Isn't that true?
Yeah. And Tim, what is your biggest challenge today? Because I always see you happy and so full of energy, and when you speak, I'm sure sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you have problems going on, and big problems. Yeah. Or unless you don't have any problems.
No, I got a lot of problems. And I think what happens is that, like for me, the biggest challenges in my life is that, and people are loving what we're saying. If you're loving what me and Albert are saying tonight, give us some emojis. I love it. For every 98% positive things, we got only 2% negative. That's good. If you're loving what me and Albert are saying, give us some emojis. Come on. Let those emojis come. Albert, I'll tell you what's painful in Tim Storey's life is the fact that my father died when I was 10. Oh man, that messed me up. And then my sister was in a car accident. Her friend was driving. They got hit by a car, and then she went in a coma for 8 days and died. And then my brother died, later in life. He was an engineer at McDonnell Douglas. That crap hurts. If I was a selfish guy, I would have just said to myself, you know what? You've been through enough stuff. Just make a lot of money, live in a big gated community, put a big giant gate up so no one can bother you, right? Because I got my own pain. But somebody's hurting worse than me, Albert. I got to get up, and I got to go after my own people. When you say your own people, I'm coming after the strugglers.
Yeah. And
people are loving this. People are on fire right now, right? They're loving this.
We have quite a few people that are going to match the 100 books, by the way. I already saw the comments. So yes. As soon as I get off this, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna put the link up there too, and that way they could also do it. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is the morning routine for somebody like Tim Storey? Like when you wake up, like 'cause when I wake up, I don't feel 100%. Like my back hurts. I don't want to get off from bed. Sometimes I feel worse than other days. But I have my morning routine that kind of lifts me up and makes me 100%. What do you do to make you feel like Tim Storey?
Okay, so what I have to do, Albert, and I'm being serious, because I learned it from Smokey Robinson, the singer. He said to me, Tim, when you're a performer and you're out there putting out energy for people, you go to such a high. Even in Modesto, right? Albert, you did so good. Even though you were hurting, man, you were so good. You're a great speaker.
Thank you, Tim.
But you go so high, you guys, and then we're human beings. So you wake up in the morning and like, oh, crap is hurting. Like, oh, man. And so Smokey Robinson said to me, Tim, you cannot just lay down in that pain. You got to get up. You got to get up. So the first thing I do, Albert, is, I wash my face. I brush my teeth because I'm that kind of guy. I'm kind of a clean freak. But then I find something very positive to meditate on. For me, I like Bible verses, okay? So I meditate on these Bible verses, and they help me, and I'm renewing my mind and strengthening my mind. And then I like sit at the end of my bed, Albert, and I go into gratitude. And I think I'm thankful for my mother. My mother just turned 90 yesterday.
Congrats.
Vesantita Gonzalez.
Yeah, tell her,
Turned 90 and she's strong.
tell her I say hi. I love your
I'm
mother.
going to tell her, you know, she's a fan of yours, just so you know, because I have her watch you. So my mother's 90, man, and she's strong, and her house is paid off. My mother's got a lot of money. So watch this. So then I do my gratitude thing. And then I'm like you, I got to exercise. I got to move. So when COVID hit, we put about $25,000 of gym equipment in my garage. And so I'm in there because I have to be. I have no choice. I don't let life push me around. I push it back. Okay? You got to push it back. So I read, in my case, the Bible. I meditate. I learn. I grow. I clear my mind. Then I have gratitude. Then I push it. So similar to you, because you're about clearing your mind. You're about exercise, right? And then you know what I like to do, Albert? Every single day, I write 5 to 10 positive texts to my friends. Most of them like guys who do what we do. Man, so proud of you. Like, you know, I won't name the guy, but it's a famous guy. Just this morning, I saw you on that show. Good job. God, they're not used to getting texts like that. What am I doing? I'm giving. I'm giving. I'm giving. What you give always comes back. That's my morning routine.
And now, Tim, you do a lot of speaking where you speak, and some of these speaking performances, they pay you a lot of money for them.
A
right?
lot of money.
So I know how you are. So I know you feel really you have a commitment to perform at a high level. And
high level.
I'm sure sometimes before the presentation, maybe something happens before it, or you're low on energy because X happened, which happened to me this Saturday.
Yeah.
How do you even if maybe you didn't sleep, how did you get in that state of mind to forget about that and Tim Storey's back?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, watch this, Albert. We're going through two things at one time always, what I call recovery and discovery. Recovery is from the crap that went on in our lives in the past and the things that are going on today. Listen, when you start making money, someone's going to sue you. When you start making money, someone's going to hate on you. Someone's going to question your motives. Like I said, like 98% of what I'm reading, because I'm a little bit smart, I have a doctorate degree, 98% is positive. 2% though, how come? Who do you guys think you are? What about God? You know, that's it's only 2%, but 98% is positive, right? When you start to rise up and do great, you have to remember this. You're going through recovery of things you've been through and things you're going through. But you're also going through discovery, which is the beauty of what you're going through now, Albert. Like life is opening up doors for you. Man, I believe it's God. I believe a lot of people prayed for you since you were a kid. You got Ed Milet at the Next Driven. You got one of the most powerful guys in the world who said to you, Albert, I believe in you. I know the story. Ed loves you. He just texted me today. Ed loves you, Albert. So what happens for a lot of you that are watching, you guys stay too much in the recovery zone. Ay, pobrecito. It reminds me of the kid, the little Hispanic kid that came home from school. And the kid said, Mommy, the kids at school say I have a big head. And then the mother said, no, you don't, mijo. No, you don't. Yeah, he had a big head. Listen, some of you are feeling sorry for yourself. Stop it. We're all going through recovery, but don't forget the discovery. The discovery is the beauty of life right now. Albert, come on. I know you're little girls. I'm the uncle. I'm the tío. Look at the life God gave you. When you're done with this life, go out to your backyard and look at your view. You're gonna see Los Angeles. Come on.
Yeah, that's awesome, Tim. That's like, you know what? When I feel that something's, I think that, well, let me talk about this. My biggest takeaway today that you said, it's something simple, but when you're complaining about, oh, you know, like, why do I have to get up and go to Modesto? I don't feel good. I have fever. I decide, I choose to take my family with me because that's freedom. I work hard so that I could afford taking them, you know, and make sure that we have, you know, security for them and all that kind of stuff. But I'm complaining about that. Not complaining, but it's just like, you know, I got to do this. It's extra work. But then there's people that have it worse, like you said. So when you think about all that stuff, like one of my friends, Bobby Castro, he went to Africa, and he told me how bad it is over there.
Yeah.
You've been to Africa?
Yeah, I've been to Africa 35 times.
And was that life-changing for you when you saw like how...
It was life-changing because there's, you know, Africa is so big. There's different parts. I've been to 7 different countries in Africa. But let's just take like South Africa for a minute. Albert.
I'm talking about the worst Africa part where poverty...
Oh my God. Listen, they're living in metal huts. Metal little huts. And they got like 8 people in this metal little hut. And you meet these little kids and they got big eyes and they're like dreaming. They're dreaming. You know why? Because we were made to dream. We were made to be people that thought big.
How do you think we could help the world? Like what? How do you think I can help the world, or how can we do it together where like we could make an impact to more people?
Yeah, so I think we're going to start in LA. So I want to get you more and more involved in what we're doing with prison reform. With you know, Robert Downey Jr. is my boy. I work with him and what we're doing in prison reform. Let's help a lot of the guys that are incarcerated and have just got out. Okay, that's cool. The other thing is the homeless. A lot of our people are homeless. Like, what I mean by that, our people, strugglers. And then let's hit the inner cities with this kind of education, where Albert comes in and starts teaching on the mindset and money. Okay, let's start doing that. And it's the each one reach one. Look at everyone's getting excited. And we're going to reach people, Albert, and we're just going to build them and build them and build them. So watch this. I'm driving down the street, and I'm on the 5 freeway the other day, and a guy goes like this, like, roll down your window, like he thinks maybe I got those windows to do this. So, you know, my window goes down. He goes, Tim Storey, 15 years ago, you effing changed my life. He was in a big old 18-wheeler. Now, I didn't have time to figure out how I was on the 5 freeway. I just went like this, okay? So you never know who you're helping, Albert. And that's the beauty of your life right now. You're an example. You're an example. But that's why the haters are going to come. You know why the haters come? Because jealousy. Jealousy. Why him and not me? He's not perfect. Why him and not me? You know what? For the I think we're down to a 0.5%. Used to be 2% negatives. Now we only got like probably 1%. The reason you're jealous is because of the pain on your inside. If you would deal with the pain on your inside, you would not be jealous of people that are trying to lift you up. How powerful is that?
Powerful, man. Super powerful. And you know, I want to remind everybody, we were talking about Tim's book, So I'm gonna get can you show the book? Tim's book launches today. It's available right now, right? We could go buy it right now.
Right this second. Well, I was just on a live on Facebook, and they were buying them like wildfire. Like I said the other night on Clubhouse, we sold over 11,000 that fast. It'll be a New York Times bestseller, but that's not my excitement. Come on, guys, please. We're changing people with the miracle mentality. But I like your challenge. You're buying 100 books, and I think we'll get 10 more people to buy 100 books at a time. Guys, please get 100 books and give them away to your staff, to your team, and my team will tell you what to do.
And
so,
Tim,
go ahead.
Anybody that does the 100 bucks, it's not going to be just like a regular ticket. I'm going to give him a VIP ticket for Driven in September. So Tim's going to be there. You told me you're going to be there, right?
100%. I'm going to be there if I'm just carrying your bag. Have you noticed that about me? Like, you'll say to me, Tim, do you want to just show up? So here's a guy, living kind of a fancy life coach to the stars. Albert will call me up last minute. Tim, can you show up? I just show up. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because he's next. He's next, and he's now. So Michael Jordan was smart enough to realize LeBron was coming. You get my point?
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to realize who I'm dealing with here. And any way I can serve you, that's why I show up.
Well, I feel it's mutual. Tim, I have a lot of respect for you. Like I said, whenever I have some low moments or I need help, I always text you first, and I always ask you, like, Tim, what should I do in this situation? And you always have my back, no matter what. I know you always text me back right away, or when you finish what you're doing, but it's always like next hour, next couple of hours. So I know I could always count on you. So thank you for being that man that you are, and keep changing lives. I'm gonna put the link when I save this live, and I'm also gonna put the screenshot of the 100 bucks because I have my card right here.
You got your card ready?
Yeah, it's ready. So
yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah, this one's gonna go through.
Yeah, we used to have other cards that didn't go through.
Hey, people used to make fun of me when that happened.
Yes.
Now it's a little bit different.
Albert, I got to say this as we close, because Albert's got a family, he's got things to do. I want to tell you guys, listen to me. Man, you see Albert's heart? He cares. A lot of you don't get to see. You see the power. You see all the things he's doing. I know him behind the scenes. He cares about people. And I'm going to tell you something about God. He doesn't use perfect people. He uses willing people who are working on themselves. And I've been saying this for years. God uses shaky people to do sturdy projects. There's a reason that God lifts up certain people to do amazing things. And you see this in Albert's life, in Seal's life, in the kids. You see it in Albert's father and his mother. People, I get to be around the family. Man, you better get used to them. And you should really learn to like them even more, because they're here to stay. They're going to continue to rise up, because when God promotes you, nobody can demote you. When God promotes you, nobody can demote you.
That's right. That's fire. I love that. I'm going to go to sleep with that.
Go to sleep with that. Hey, thanks for having me on your, this is on your site today.
Yeah, brother, thank you. And make sure you send me the link so I can post it. And you know what? I want to close it out by just telling you how much we appreciate you, Sil, my parents, everybody that when you came to my house a couple weeks ago for that event that I had for my top performers.
Yes.
You know what everybody said? That it was the #1 best top performers event we've had to date.
Wow.
In the history of our company.
Wow, that means a lot lot to me. So everybody that's buying, even if you don't buy 100 books, buy the book right now for yourself. And buy it for your brother who's struggling or your sister that's struggling. It's right there. Buy the book. Albert, thank you for taking the time tonight. And you're getting better. You're looking better. I was a little nervous in Modesto. You look like you've been hit by a boxer in the 11th round. I said, he's staggering. I hope he can take the stage. He's staggering.
I was drenched in sweat because I was so hot.
I saw you.
Yeah.
You made it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Love
Life
you.
is good. Hey, look how excited people are. People are excited.
Yeah, they are. They love this. Like, it was an incredible life. So much value. I'm going to save it. I'm actually going to watch it again because it was so good. It was good.
All right. We love you all.
All right, brother.
See you soon.